Welcome to Mommy Issues, a podcast where an ex-reality TV star mom
and her reality TV loving daughter
bridge the gap between their generations through celeb news, all things Bravo,
and their own personal mommy issues.
Hello, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Still dealing with tech stuff.
Someday.
Okay, so you fixed your own AC?
I fixed my own AC. The guy couldn't come till later. Last night at some point I felt like it was hot. I went, the thermostat was saying it was 200 degrees. Of course it wasn't 200 degrees, but it was all messed up. And then I thought, the guy's going to says he can't come till like 6. And then I thought, well, if it's the thermostat, let me just find the same thermostat. I went to Home Depot, found the same thermostat, installed it, and I have an AC that's working.
Wow.
Yeah.
You women can do it all, guys.
Yes, they can. Especially if you're me.
Exactly.
They're just not willing to. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Lola, oh God, Lola just got up.
Right this second?
You know why? It's because of fucking gardeners, man.
Oh,
I swear to God, the second they like go by her room, even though her sound machine is on, it wakes her up, obviously.
Is she crying?
Hold on one second. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm gonna let her cry for a little bit. She had thrown all her tetes out of the crib. That's like her.
Yeah, now she's really into that.
Yeah. It's because I think she knows that's how you get somebody to come inside the room, is like she has to throw all her stuff. I think she's smart, man. She knows what's going on. Anyways, okay, let's get into highlights and lowlights. Let's like really start the show.
Let's start the show. Finally.
Why don't you start? Any highlights and lowlights for this week? It's like pulling teeth with you with these highlights.
Yeah,
and
I
lowlights.
mean, honestly, like, no, not real lowlights. I've been kind of like in a funk, but we expected that to happen after like
that's
Lola
right,
left and all that activity. So, it's fine. But no real lowlights, and I'm good.
Great. Any highlights?
Good. Highlights. Well, from the last time we had already talked about the new podcast we're doing, right? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's still a highlight. I'm excited about that.
Okay.
And we're, kind of deciding on who our first guest will be and stuff like that. It's just, I like being involved in activities, and yes, I do have another highlight. Both books that I was working on, because who does 2 books at the same time?
You do.
The same woman who fixed her own AC.
Yeah.
They're like, we're at this stage where everything's been approved by the editor, by blah blah blah. We're meeting with the photographer and the food stylist for the food shots, and then
things are in motion.
Yeah, and then the
exciting
Lola loves her selfie. That one probably be out before Christmas.
Did you talk about Lola Loves Her Selfie on the podcast?
I talked about writing a children's book.
But I don't think you said the name.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, maybe you did. I don't remember. But
I don't think I did, actually. The book came to me. I had always wanted to write books about girls. And this is not only for girls, but it's about girls. And of course, I was inspired by Lola. But I wanted to talk about subjects that were important, that I, looking back on your childhood and preteen and adolescence and blah blah blah, noticed that you faced certain issues, when social media started, and you were, I don't know if that was late high school, early college. I mean, you were affected. And so I wanted to introduce girls and parents to these kind of nuances of social media that can really affect our self-esteem, but in a fun way. I don't know if that's a good explanation.
No, it's a good explanation. I also think it's good to introduce the concept of social media and like just the challenges of it, I guess you can say, early on, so that it's not like, you experience it firsthand and then it's too late.
Yeah, I feel the reason I focused on girls, because I feel, first of all, that's my experience. I'm a girl mom. I'm like a girl grandma. I'm such a, and it's what I wanted. I like never, you asked me yesterday, did you ever want more kids? And I did. I would have had 3 had I had the nerve after 2 back to back, but I always wanted 3 girls. That was just my thing. So,
Yeah.
and I feel that girls are more affected. Their self-esteem is more affected by what they see on social media, because most of the targeting is towards women, you know, all these perfect women, all these filtered women, all these whatever. And then I don't know, I just feel like parents worry about a lot of other things and don't focus on those things. And this will start the conversation, which should be a parent-child conversation
Yeah.
anyway, but it's a great conversation starter.
I
you know?
agree.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
So I'm excited about it. And yeah, it'll probably be out before Christmas. We just finished, you know, I didn't finish the illustrations. I have a great illustrator. She's amazing.
I would love to see you draw anything.
Oh my God, stick figures
Anything.
everywhere. I know. She's great. You know, it was funny. I think I mentioned to you that she thanked me for not using AI, because I realized now that
because people can use AI for illustrations. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
that's
Actually,
not right. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like illustrators, like she would be out of business if everybody used that. And by the way, we worked on these illustrations. Like I wanted it to, I wanted it to be not necessarily look exactly like Lola or whatever, but that it would appeal to, that everybody could see themselves in these characters. And that was important. And I don't know that AI can pick up those nuances. So I'm just happy about it. I'm proud of it.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
For it to actually be out and to read it to Lola.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think she'll
well, it's
let me read it to her right now. She'll be like, this is a little long.
Yeah.
But eventually.
But she can look at the pictures.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, my highlights and lowlights. My highlight is I turned down the job in Italy. And that's a highlight.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's a highlight for me too.
It's a highlight because first of all, it was causing me so much stress. And for the entire week until I made the decision on like Wednesday, but from the time that I landed back in LA until that time, it was a full week. It was turmoil inside of me. And I would Jolene would come home from set like so exhausted, and I'd be like in the kitchen. I'd be like, we need to have a conversation. We need to talk about this. And I would just start sobbing and like, it was just too much, which honestly, that should have been the sign that it was not right. But I think I was trying to make it work so badly because I think I was negating this idea of like, it truly was the decision of like, are you choosing your career or are you choosing your family? And that's like kind of a tough thing to choose.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't know that by choosing it, you were not choosing your family. In some ways you were, because it was opening doors and whatever. I think that you would have made the decision sooner had John Liam not told you this is something you should do for you. That affected you a lot. He's looking at it from a different perspective. You know what I mean? It was the right thing for him to do when he did it. You're in a different place. You have a child now. I've seen you with Lola now. Like I always knew how you were with Lola in the little bits of time that I was there. But seeing you 24/7 with Lola, you are connected. And you know what? I know that there's all great moms. I'm not saying that you're the best mom in the world, except I'm saying I think you're the best mom in the world.
Well,
you know what I mean? You're so, I just can't imagine.
I know.
You would miss out. They're important. It's an important month, believe it or not. Lola every day is growing and learning so much. From the time she left here to now, when I see her on FaceTime, she's
different. Well, I think, and that's like the biggest thing. I think there's, technically speaking, Lola's about to start daycare, like a significant amount of time away from the house, like probably 3 times a week. She's walking. She has her routine set up at the house. Technically speaking, me being gone for a month wouldn't like rock her world, but she does still need me. Like at the end of the day, she's still a baby who needs me.
She's a babe. It's hard to remember.
She is a baby.
Crazy,
she looks big, but she's a baby.
It's hard to remember that she's a baby.
Yeah, because she seems like an adult, truly.
Yeah, she does.
I will say I had this like epiphany. I don't even know what it was. I just like was sitting on the couch and something happened and I was like, oh, I'm not going to Italy. There's no way I'm going to Italy. And like immediate relief came over my body. And I just started crying and I was like, sometimes you have to go through the motion. Sometimes you have
Yeah.
to go through every possible scenario to get to the point where you're just like, oh no, I'm not doing that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And like, I just was like, if it's a matter of choosing my family over my career, every day I'll choose my family. That's where I'm at right now.
Those
And that
were
may
my
change.
decisions too. I always felt that way. And there's things I wanted to do that I didn't do. And I do not look back. And I can tell you from my perspective, I wanted to run for judge. Your dad asked me
I remember
not
that.
to. He told me, please don't do it. I need you here. The girls need you. You don't want to be involved in the campaign, blah, blah, blah. And I don't look back and go, I should have done it.
Right,
Despite the divorce, despite
Get closer to your mic.
this was all the right. The decisions that I made were right for me and for my family, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
I
how
don't
I
feel like
feel
you'll look
now.
back and regret it.
And also the second that I said no, I like, obviously I reached out to my community of like producers and friends and stuff to be like, hey guys, first of all, there's a job available if you want it. Also, do you know of anything? And so many doors opened up, so many opportunities that like I was put up for, and like something that I'm like very excited about that I don't even want to talk about because I don't want to jinx it, but there could be something that's like really great and like stable and whatever. And I'm just like, that is validation of like, this is the right choice. You know, I've also been receiving a lot of signs from the universe, and I'm like, it feels like I'm just on the right path. I kept saying the numbers 444, which those are not my like angel numbers at all. So it happened like 3 days in a row after I made that decision, and I looked it up, and 444 means you're on the right path. And I was like, okay, I'm on the right path. There was also the idea of like, we're just now starting this like new podcast. And if I were to go for a month, that would put a lot of stuff on hold. I'm involved in a lot of the day-to-day of it. And I was like, I want to see that through. Who knows what'll happen with that, but I at least want to try, you know? Anyways.
No, and we need you. And we need you. We're like,
So I'm very
you know,
happy about
I was glad you made the decision. Less to do with the podcast, but we really would have had to just get one out and then put one in the kit, you know, whatever. That wouldn't have been a huge deal. It would have been a little, but I'm just happy because I knew it was the right decision for you. And I think it was the decision you were going to make anyway, but you needed to go through the process.
I have to go through the process. It's like, I have to die 1,000 deaths.
Yes. And I get it, because I die 1,000, not anymore.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. You'll see. Have you ever heard when women talk about aging and they say, I wouldn't go back to my 30s, I wouldn't go back to my 20s, I wouldn't even go back to my 40s? Because it is such a relief
to be out of the woods.
To know who you are, to know how you react to things, to know what fits, what doesn't. You, at this point in my life, I know that I'm a round peg or a square peg, and I just go where I fit. And by the way, some of these transitions have been recent, you know, and some have been a long time coming, and it's finally, and then you go, why did I waste so much time? I wish I could
you
teach
have
you.
to. You have to.
And I wish I could teach you guys and whatever. Kathy is more like me, how I was before, and I see her worrying in advance of so many things, but it's like I can't judge her for that, because I did it, and I did it worse. You know what I mean? Like, she's very, and I'm not saying she's doing it badly, but Kathy is very detail oriented and likes a planned life.
For sure.
And I think that's a good thing. You know what I mean? That's how I was. I don't even look back and regret too much how I was. I think it was necessary for that time in my life. But like, as I got older, it's like I needed to let that go. And people are like, oh, you were more like that before, now you're more like Beba. It's like, yeah, I guess, but I'm more like who I am.
You're just
now
more
in
you.
My 50s.
You're more you than you've ever been.
Yeah. But that's very self-aware and very noticing, like when the other day we talked about that I needed to let go of the vanity, like so much vanity. Right. You know, I have to work on that, because a good example, and I don't want to take too much time, but I cook all the time. Right. And so I've been watching this show that I told you about on Netflix, which is, you know, a book that I've read about the blue zones. You know, as you get older, you worry. And so I'm starting to see all these things. I'm like, you know, I need to focus more on fruits, vegetables, nuts, beans, whatever.
Water.
So yesterday, well, water I've been drinking, but So yesterday I made a really good beet salad with walnuts, roasted beets, and whatever. And then I made a split pea soup, but just vegetarian with like tons of vegetables and all this stuff. And I'm like, why don't I just turn the camera on with my tripod? Why? Because I'm
You
wearing
don't look
leggings
perfect.
and like I
Yeah.
look like shit. People would love to see this. It's just an
Yeah.
impromptu, quick, whatever. So I have a ways to go, but that's my goal right now. That's what I'm working
And the
on.
fact that it's top of mind for you means
Yeah.
that you're actively working on it.
Yeah.
That's like half the battle sometimes. But
Yeah,
yeah, I hear
definitely.
you. And then quickly, my low light is Lola's teething, and it's sad. And it always is just like a hard week when she's teething. Also, she's like old enough now where she can like kind of communicate more what's happening. Like when she was teething before, we'd be like, is she teething? I don't really know. She like cries and then like holds her hand on top of the part that it hurts. And I'm like, oh no,
No.
it's so sad. Poor
Oh
thing.
my God. She's so funny.
Okay, let's do some gossip.
Okay. What gossip do we have?
Honestly, this is a really big one, and I don't know where it's coming from or like who is spreading this rumor, but there are rumors that Miley Cyrus and Harry Styles are set to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh wow.
Can you imagine? That's
That
an
would be
incredible combo.
That's an amazing combo. And it kind of goes with this whole pattern of using younger, before it was like the J-Lo's, the Beyonce's, the whatever. I think we're moving towards who has the spending power now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Harry are the girl and boy version of each other.
Yes.
They are the same, just different parts.
Are they both single?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. They're so like private with their shit that I don't really know. But Miley and Harry, but again, I have no idea where this even came from. I don't even know where I read it, but the fact where I believe where there's smoke, there's fire. Like, why would those two people even come up together? You know?
Right. Yeah.
So you heard it here first.
Wow. Okay. That is big.
And then the other thing was Taylor Swift, her Eras tour. She just announced that she is doing an Eras tour movie that is set to be released on October 13th, of course, the 13th. But like, that's very soon. I'm just thinking production wise, like.
Well, it's probably been done.
But how long has she been doing this tour for? Not really that long. Like normally what happens is you tour whatever for a year and then you probably spend 6 to 8 months editing and then you release it.
But probably enough has happened in that time to put together. You know what I'm saying? They've had enough things. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow, though. Wow. I'm excited. I'm so excited. And this is, I think I was telling Kathy this of like, this is why I usually don't buy tickets to concerts for people who are like this big. By the way, that Renaissance album for Beyonce, that'll be a movie as well. I will be seeing that in the comfort of my home.
Exactly.
The same way with the Eras tour. And like, I have access to a bathroom, and even if it's a 3-hour long movie, I get to pee.
Yeah. And eat whatever you want and whatever. Yeah.
I so prefer that, but yeah. I'm excited to watch it. Watch it. That's all I had for gossip, to be honest. There's a lot of Bravo bullshit to get into.
There is a lot of Bravo. Go ahead.
Sorry. And also we haven't asked me anything because I posted on our Instagram. Not a ton of questions, but just getting you a little teaser for what's to come this episode. Okay. Bravo bullshit. We'll start with Atlanta. There is going to be an Atlanta reboot. Apparently, everyone is out, which is not true. I heard rumors that everyone is out, but I think the truth is that Candy, Kenya, and Sheree are staying, and then they're recasting everybody else.
Let's get Richie Sky to come on because nobody knows more about the Atlanta and Potomac. Like, he's close to all those women, and I saw him. But I would love to talk to him more. Yesterday they were saying that they were keeping Candy on. Yeah. And they're going to find some socialites because they don't really have the budget for like big name people names they were throwing around. But that's okay. So we talked about this briefly yesterday, but what they did with New York of completely throwing out the old cast, which sounds aggressive, but that's what they did, and bringing fresh faces, that really, really worked. That really worked. So I think that that's the way of the future with all the housewife shows, and I think it's a good idea.
I think it's a great idea. And especially, have you watched Atlanta this season? You haven't, right?
No, I don't watch Atlanta.
It is so bad. It has been horrible this season. It just finished. And I'm like,
I honestly
I'm not even
watching.
interested in the reunion. That's how much I don't care.
Potomac, and I haven't watched that either. And I haven't watched Salt Lake City. I don't know if it started yet, but
no, it hasn't started.
I haven't watched any of that.
Yeah, Atlanta was really bad this season, which makes, so when this news came out, I was like, thank God, like this is what we need. And honestly, let's look at every franchise seriously.
Yeah,
because we've been talking about this so much of like the fighting, the way that things have kind of transpired, and it's just this is natural. It happens after season after season after season. These women are like, this is my job. I have to secure my job, so I'm going to wreak havoc on this season. And we don't really love that anymore.
We don't love that.
Like New York is really a testament
for
to that. Yeah, we just
that's what it is.
Your real
people
life
living
happening.
Their life. Yeah.
That's the origin of Housewives, and that should be the core of it.
And I like, look, we follow people on social media like Jenna Lyons that I started following. I don't follow all of them, but when I started following her, she popped up, and then I didn't think to follow her, but she popped up and I started following her, and I see, first of all, for many years she has been who she is right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's always dressed the same. She has always whatever. She is so transparent about things. She has a genetic issue where she doesn't have eyelashes or eyebrows or whatever, which is why she came up with her eyelash line. She has like none, like alopecia of the whatever.
Yeah.
She posts pictures without it. People don't look great without eyelashes. You know what I mean?
You're telling me.
She was born with these weird teeth. I'm sorry to call them weird, but she calls them weird, that look like little tubes or whatever, and she had to have her teeth all completely redone. She showed all that.
Yeah.
And I
appreciate that.
And she's always been fabulous. Like, so 5 years ago on her Instagram, she's still doing covers of magazines. She's still like the epitome of style. She is not motivated by what anybody else is wearing. I just love her. And I think that we want more of that. We want more.
Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more.
And it doesn't matter. Excited. Like, we're the same. We're not. I was just saying we're the same age.
We're the same age.
Yeah, we're exactly the same age. But we're the completely different generations, and we both want the same thing.
Exactly.
Which is why I think that this is why Bravo. They're smart. And I know, like, for example, Purveyors Pop, who produce great shows, they must be thinking
about Miami now.
Yeah, they're thinking about Miami, because I'm not telling you to get rid of people, but maybe keep some people as friends and make
That's what I mean. We just need to mix it up. That's the thing. You have to keep people engaged in the shows, and the way to do that is to bring in fresh faces, and like let's see other people's stories. I don't want to see people's same bullshit over and over again, especially when it's made up. And we know when it's made up.
Right now for Miami, like the backbone of Miami is Nicole.
Yeah.
And Gertie, frankly, because Gertie, man, she knows what she's doing. You know what I mean? She knows what she's doing. Like, she is now, like, she blooms where she's planted. So she has cancer, and now she's like motivated.
The face of the positive cancer movement.
Yes, and she sent Dolores this, Dolores did something for breast cancer, and she sent her a shirt and and Dolores wore it, and
I saw that. Yeah. Listen to me. It's incredible. I am always astounded by the outlook people have when they get diagnosed with something like that horrible. I want you to know that if I ever got diagnosed with anything that was terminal, I would be down in the dumps.
You would not.
And no, I wouldn't. I would be like, guys,
no, you would not.
Sucks.
You would not. I promise you would not.
Not the positive face. I would be the negative, moping around, being like, I can't believe this happened to me.
No, I'm telling you, you won't. In fact, it's more common than you think that people respond this way. She's bigger than life. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know people that went to college with her in high school, like, who have told me that Gertie you see now, she's always been that Gertie.
Oh, I believe
that. My photographer girl that does all the food photos she told me she's always been like that.
Okay.
And I believe she's been in a relationship for 27 years. You know what I'm
Oh, yeah,
saying?
yeah,
The
yeah.
one guy,
That's
he's adorable, by the way, in
I love
person.
him. He's so cute.
There is no comparison with any housewife's husband.
Wow. That's
No,
saying a
none.
lot.
And by the way, I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. He's just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so handsome, so together, so
Okay, Bryn,
yeah.
relax, calm down. Just kidding. Okay, biggest news. This was breaking news that happened yesterday. You don't watch Summer House, but Carl
No, I know Carl and
and
whatever, they
Lindsay
broke up two and a
have
half
broken
months,
off their engagement.
2.5 months before their wedding, after she had already had a bridal shower.
2.5 months before their wedding. Oh, I
Date,
didn't know
yeah.
there.
She had
Oh,
already
yeah, it's
had
in
the bridal
November.
shower. Yeah.
2 weeks ago, she had her bridal shower, and apparently Carl is the one who broke off the engagement, and Lindsay was, quote, blindsided.
Right. Well, yeah. You
And
know,
also, cameras were up during all this. Cameras
okay.
are up during all this, which is amazing. I mean, not
Um,
amazing. That sounds
I'm
horrible, but
gonna
I just
watch it.
mean like I would like to see what
I might
happened.
start watching that like when I finish Suits,
You really should.
because I'm gonna watch that. You want me to watch
Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls. You're not gonna tell me who I am.
If you're out on the road down.
I'm gonna sing my song that I know the entire intro song to Suits.
I'm sure you do.
Green
Okay, hold.
Um, what was it gonna say?
You should watch Summer House. You want to
I'm
watch
gonna watch
Summer House
because I love that whole Southern and you
No,
know.
it's not Southern. That's Southern Charm.
Oh, Summer House. No, I want to watch Southern Charm. I don't want to watch
Okay,
Summer
well,
House.
I'll watch Summer
is
House.
like young kids in
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Hamptons,
Like
right?
partying in the Hamptons. It's
No,
very
no,
fun.
no.
Okay. The whole thing with Lindsay and Carl. Here's the thing. If anybody watched Summer House last season, their whole relationship was like a cause of a lot of drama because people were just like, Carl is sober. Lindsay is, I'm not going to say an alcoholic, but the girl likes to drink. Okay. And
This is the same thing that happened with Sofia Vergara and
Joe Manganiello.
yeah, and you know, I talk to Joe all the time. We've gotten very close lately, and he just told me that he
Hold
could
on one
not stay
second.
sober.
Jolene keeps calling me. Now I'm worried.
Are you sure he's fine? I don't care.
Yeah.
Pausing. Okay.
No. He's fine. Did you hear that?
No.
Oh, okay.
He said, okay, bye.
No. He said something and then I was like, I'll call you later.
Oh, okay. No, I heard
It's
something, but I don't hear well. So
okay. I'll make sure nobody can hear it because it's
yeah.
interesting. Okay. Moving on. What was I saying? Oh, Carl and Lindsay. They had this like really explosive fight last season where she was blackout drunk and she was just going at him. You know, when you're just drunk and you're just trying to pick a fight, that's what she was doing. And she was a dog with a bone, would not let it go. And
God,
it was
I
just,
used to be that person. It's horrible.
but it was also just very clear, like these two people, I think, want the same thing. They want marriage, they want babies, they want love, and they're trying to fit, and it doesn't fit. They're just trying to make it work. They've been friends for years, and they were like creating this fairy tale of like we were best friends, and then suddenly something switched, and we're in love.
Right, and it's probably not true. They were just thought they were running out of time, and it's like, okay, you'll do.
Yeah, exactly.
Frozen her embryos.
Well, I think everybody, if you have any intention of having babies and you're in your 30s and you don't have a boyfriend or you don't even know if you want to do it alone,
freeze that shit.
Just freeze. I mean, it's easier said than done. It's also very expensive, but like if you have the means,
they have financing plans.
Just do it, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm bummed for Lindsay because I feel bad. I'm also bummed for Carl, but like I also think whether it was going to be either 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, this was always going to happen. They were never going to stay together. I really don't think so. No, I don't. Anyways,
you seem very affected by this. Okay,
I'm just
I saw something on social media about that the Blink-182 concert was canceled or postponed to 3 different cities because there was an emergency with Courtney's baby pregnancy.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't click the link in bio. But it was
okay. Well, I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, can you look it up because yeah, and he's not going to the next 3 whatever, and he stopped in a chapel on the way out of where he was. So yeah, I don't know if there's some issues. I hope not.
Okay.
Oh wow, look at me breaking news to you.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Travis Barker rushes home for urgent family matter as pregnant Courtney awaits arrival. awaits arrival of her baby. Like, do we know how far
That's
along she
really
is?
early. Yeah, she was due in November. That's very early.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Due to an urgent family matter, Travis has had to return home to the States. It doesn't say why.
Well, but he's not going to come back because Kim has a ingrown toenail.
What?
Family matter has to be his children or her
Oh,
children.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh God. Well, let's just pray for a healthy baby. That's really scary.
The other, okay. Speaking of Kardashians, I know we weren't going to talk about them too much, but
Here we are.
yeah, Kanye.
Oh no, we can't talk about Kanye.
Okay.
No, we have a ban on Kanye. We don't talk
we have
about
a
him.
ban on Kanye. I feel bad for the wife. I think she's crazy too.
Well, the only thing I'll say is Kim apparently wants to talk some sense into her.
No,
like,
that
wants to like get her in a room and be like, girl.
Right. So page 6 said that and then retracted it 5 minutes later, a few minutes ago or an hour ago, and said that Kim has moved on past that and has no desire to talk to even talk to whatever down from
okay. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I know more than you.
You do know more than me. To be fair, it's like 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's 10 a.m. over here. So
that's true.
I have a no phone in the morning rule. Like, I don't look at social media and stuff.
So let me tell you, I hate to talk about Bethany because
I know it was my next thing.
To add fuel to the fire, but she's completely out of control. And I don't know if you want to do this, but I think that sometimes people act so insane that we should either play a little piece of it, you know what I mean? Like of things that she does and says, because she goes, well, every time that somebody talks about me, they're buying a ticket to my show. Okay, fine. Your show is entertaining. You're crazy. You are completely
she's
nuts.
A little nuts.
And so I was listening. I had stopped listening, but her little rant ones, I don't listen when she talks to other people anymore because she finds a way to make the entire podcast, even when she has a guest about her. And I find that so rude. So I never listened to the Rachel thing. She's number one. She became number one because of that. And too bad, so sad. You got like this. Too bad, so sad. All the little podcasters are just jealous of me. And if you had the opportunity to make millions of dollars, me neither. You know what the thing about Bethany is, with all her money and with all her thing and with all the fact that right now people are talking about it, you still have to be Bethany.
Well, this is what I was going to talk about. I don't care about her psychoticness and what she's talking about on her podcast. Apparently, she has 80 big reality TV stars, and she's enlisted for this abuse lawsuit against Bravo, NBC Universal.
Not me.
Well, she said big reality TV stars. So
no, but they're all former. They're all former.
Okay. Well, I just find this to be so. I mean, we've talked about it. I was oscillating between like, at first I was like, that's crazy. You sign up for this, whatever. And then I was like, well, maybe. I'm back on the train of like, you signed up for this. And that's mostly because I was listening to Las Culturistas and Matt Rogers really convinced me where he was
I wanted to listen to something that
you should listen to the Las Culturistas, the last episode, because he was like, any contract in the entertainment business is inherently exploitative. That's what you're signing up for. That's the nature of the show. That's whatever. And every contract is going to like bind you into something. You know what I mean? But to claim abuse and to like wave this red flag when Bravo, NBC Universal gave you everything you have, Bethany would be nothing without Bravo. Nothing. And then to do this and to say abuse, when it's like, now you're turning around and like shooting them. I don't get it. It's so wrong. And it's so like, that's what we should be talking about.
Because she wants attention and everything that she has tried has failed. We already discussed that. Nobody wants to work with Bethany anymore. Nobody.
But 80 former reality stars do? Like, what's that about?
Think about former housewives.
Yeah,
that did nothing else.
Yeah. They're like, are we going to get money?
Yeah, it's like, is there any money? I was once one of the housewives. It's like, if you didn't use that platform to do something else, then what are you doing?
Then you're really
what do you have to lose?
on this.
What do you have to lose?
Let me get Lola.
Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Look who it is. Who's that? Is that G?
It's G. Remember yesterday when you say bye, G?
Yeah,
She said it
Lola
right,
said
Beba.
bye, G. Say
We
hi.
didn't.
Okay, you can go play with your toys, right? Okay, well, that's all the Bravo bullshit I had. Let's do some Ask Me Anythings
Wait,
before.
we didn't talk about OC.
Oh, what's there to say about OC, really?
Um,
What the only thing I had written down, and you're gonna hate this, but I don't care. Put Heather on Beverly Hills.
oh
There,
yeah,
I said it.
but that's all she wants.
I know it's all she wants, and I think
For
that's
this
kind
show.
of what she deserves. I don't think she makes sense in this group. I
She
don't. I
doesn't
think
make sense, but she doesn't make sense, period, because she is tapping into her IMDb life, and everything that she's doing seems not reality. It seems like she's acting. And it all seems very rehearsed. So I don't think she belongs on Housewives at all. At all.
I don't think she can do anything unless she's on Housewives, is the thing.
Well, I mean, she's throwing a big party because of Fireside.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God. The Heather Dubrow Network.
Yeah. By the way, there's nothing wrong with Fireside. I think it's great. But when I met with Fallon and we went to lunch and in fact at the was it the Mondrian stuff beach, whatever, she offered me a network too. You know,
Oh,
it's a lot of work.
of
And it's a
course.
lot of whatever. And even if you're Heather Dubrow, like I would not say, yeah, give me a network, like over promise and under deliver, because I would have under delivered. And that's not right for somebody that's creating something like this. And so
Yeah.
I think she's going to under deliver too. I really do. I don't think that she has the money to have the big party and put her initials on everything, but I don't know that she
has
is
the clout to like deliver.
It's not only the clout,
The
it's that
fan
you have to
base,
step away from yourself
yeah.
to give something. It can't be about you. It can't be
Yeah.
about you. Something else that I'm going to say, because I think that we focus a lot on women on the show and we care about women. And one of our avid listeners, a very big best friend of the pod, and I'm going to say this, and I'm not trying to shame her. I am worried about her, and I am sending you a message right now.
Ooh.
I'm not going to say, but you're going to see. You're too skinny, and I'm worried about your health. Very much so. Look at I'm going to send you the pictures, and you'll if you see the pictures, you'll want to reach out to her and think that she needs to go somewhere and take care of this.
Wow.
Really, really scary.
Is this
and
a
I
housewife?
love her. No, this is somebody, a friend of our pod that I love and think she's wonderful and whatever, and I'm worried about her.
Oh my God.
So I just wanted to say it because this is how serious it is that I will write to her privately. Yeah, I'm putting it on blast, even though I'm not going to say who she is, but I think that it might. I feel like if I didn't, I'm doing a disservice and that she could be run into trouble. That's how worried I am.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I also think you should, if you're worried, you should send a private message.
I'm going to before this comes out, but I want her to know that I'm like, I didn't just send it to you privately. I didn't whatever. I'm telling you, and I'm going to write to her. And you know, listen, everybody wants somebody to say, you're too skinny, you've gone too far.
Yeah.
But this is not a joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do some Ask Me Anything questions.
Yeah.
Not many, because we're kind of running out of time here, but we got some good ones that require some talking, you know?
Okay, some thought.
One is can you biggest takeaways from therapy? Love the pod. What's like your biggest takeaway from therapy?
Jesus Christ, that it's all about my mother.
No,
and that
but
is
for
not
real.
And it's for real. And if you're not willing to go there, therapy will be for women at least. I don't know if it's for men. You know, on Suits, if anybody's watching, all of Harvey's problems are about his mother too.
You can't let it go.
But yes, it's all about my mother. And I have to tell you that it's an uncomfortable subject for me because I waited too long to delve into it. And my mother has changed so much in the last years, and I am not going to torture her with my issues when she's in her 90s. And I'm just going to accept who she is and know that everybody's a product of their upbringing. And, you know, if her parents did a number on her and my parents did a number on me and your parents did a number on you, that's just, but insights is that for me, that you really have to be ready, and it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of introspection, and it's painful. It's
Yeah,
painful. Yeah.
it is. And you have to really, really be willing to like you said, like go there. You can't just come in and be like, well, this is what's going on
Yeah,
the
it's not
surface. It's
surface
like,
level anything.
because all your surface level shit will kind of resolve on its own once you figure out why you're reacting the way you're
Yeah.
reacting is because
Yeah.
of deeper shit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
My biggest takeaway from therapy, because a lot of the reason why I went back into therapy when I was like 27 was because of our like massive fight where we didn't like talk for months.
Right.
Obviously, everything has to do with your mom. I agree. But my biggest takeaway was, and I've said this on the podcast, where seeing you as a kid was a huge, I guess it wasn't a takeaway, it was more of a breakthrough, but it's still a takeaway.
I kind of do
Seeing
that with
you
my
as
mom
a
too.
yeah,
I think,
seeing you as like a regular person, like I think when you remember that your parents are people who have had lives before you and have lives after you and like have their own experiences and issues and problems with their own whatever, you can actually gain so much empathy for your parents, and then you can always come from a place of empathy. And I think that's like the biggest thing in life. If you just
yeah.
are always are compassionate towards people and give people grace, you're just going to be a much happier person. You're going to let
Yeah.
go of a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. You're not going to take out anything too personally because nothing is really about you.
No, that is the biggest lesson. And the longest person I ever did therapy was with Matt, which you did it too.
Mhm.
And God, he used to tell me, it's not about you. It's not about you. And I didn't understand what he meant. It's not about you. What do you mean? I'm the only one in the room. You know, it's like,
No.
it's not about you. And now it is everything that happens. I realize with friends, in relationships and everything else, it's somebody else's issue that I just happen to be there.
Yeah.
And boy, can you spare yourself? It is, if when you learn that, I think that you are giving yourself grace, you know,
Yeah.
because, and also being less self-involved, because not everything is about you, you know,
No.
and what are these people, when you meet somebody, you're meeting everything, their childhood, all the pain, all the thing they had, and anything that you do or say, or anything about you, maybe the color of your hair, the lipstick you wear, something could trigger something in them, and it's still not about you.
Yeah.
It triggers
Exactly.
something in them that reminds them of something else in their life that was painful. So
Yeah.
therapy is tough, but yes, I
Worth
recommend
it.
it. It's worth it. Yeah.
It is. What got you into TV production, and did you ever consider becoming a lawyer like your mom? I'll answer the second one first. No. In
Never.
fact, when my sister is a lawyer, and when me and my mom went to Gainesville, where she went to law school, I remember specifically, like, we were doing the tour with her and we were about to walk into the library, and I like very seriously pulled her aside and I was like, Gati, look, you don't have to do this.
I
And she was
remember
like,
like it
no,
was
no, no,
yesterday.
I want to do this. And I'm like, no, you
She
don't.
was
You
like
don't want to do
Alice
it.
in Wonderland, and you're like, I would kill myself. It is absolutely not
Nobody
for you.
wants this, Scotty. Nobody wants this. She was like, I do. And I was like, okay, well.
But you didn't start wanting TV production.
No. So I went to college for broadcast journalism because I was obsessed with E-News, Juliana Rancic. I wanted to be an entertainment news TV host. Imagine that. Can you imagine that? That's what we
Yeah.
are doing right now.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be a broadcast journalist, and I remember I took my journalism class. I loved it, whatever. And then my sophomore year, my first semester of sophomore year, I had to do my class of like in front of camera, like talking to camera, doing reads and stuff. And I just remember being like, this doesn't fit. Like, this doesn't feel right. And like, I kind of feel like a robot. I don't love the idea of just being like, I don't know. It didn't feel right. And I had a boyfriend at the time who was at Tisch school, NYU, whatever. We won't get into it, but he needed help on like a student film. And I went to New York and helped him. And I just remember being on set and being like, this is so cool. Like, this is what I want to do. And then I came home and I literally changed my major the next day. And that's how I got into it. I didn't necessarily want to be in TV. It's just when I moved out to LA, the first job that I got, it was like 2 weeks after moving to
What's
LA.
E-News?
No, I got,
No?
I did get an internship at E-News in my
Oh,
junior year, which was the best thing ever. And that's what brought me out to LA and made me realize I wanted to live here. But when I graduated, I came out here, and 2 weeks later, I got a job as a post-production assistant for a show called Street Art Throwdown for Oxygen, which is
oh, I remember
obviously
Oxygen. Yeah.
a season 1 show that never came back. But that's
That's
where I
when
met
you
John
worked with,
Liam.
and isn't that where you met Natalie Portman?
Natalie Portman used my phone charger and then broke it and then returned it, but I still have it because it's the highlight of my life. But yeah, met John Liam there, met Natalie Portman there, and then as from there you become like a gig person.
Gig girl, my favorite
People are
word.
like, "You're so good at your job." It's like, I'm so good at printing and giving you a paycheck. And
No,
like, do you want to go on another show?
No, I think everyone that I've ever worked with that has worked with you, Marcus, people on Marcus's team, people on every single time I've done anything, that everyone has amazing things to say about you. So
that's nice.
So yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Can you share your workout routine and diet?
Not me. Oh, they wanted the question for me?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But let's both give our workout routine
my diet is an ever evolving thing. I'm always trying to do better. I don't eat a lot in one sitting. Because I don't eat massive quantities of food. Yeah, right. So then I'll eat whatever I want because I don't consume a large quantity of it. I eat too much sugar.
Yes.
I am trying to work on that. But I don't eat like a lot of food. Workout, I started, doing like this work. Like I don't love to go out, like leave my house unless it's necessary. That is something that was left over from COVID, and I'm a homebody. I have always been, but now it's really bad. So if I can do things here, so I will walk. When I walk Harry, I do it late because it's so hot. And then I'll do these videos, one with like upper body hand weights and stuff. I'll do Zumba ones. I'll do different things like that. I am not right now doing anything specifically like going to Pilates 3 times a week like I used to, but I want to get back to that because it is the best thing for my body. For sure.
I would say it's the best thing for everyone's body.
Yeah, you're a lot more consistent with diet and exercise than I am. I think when you wake up, first of all, you've always worked out and you've always done something to move your body every day. I think you learned that from your dad. At the time when you were growing up, I always worked out too.
Yeah.
And I think we were just a family that did that. And so it was considered a part of your life. But I think that you make decisions about food based on what's healthy, what's good for my body. And every once in a while, you're like throw caution to the wind, which I think is a really healthy thing.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you're putting good shit in your body.
Yeah. And it's also, I think naturally I just crave good stuff. I do, which sounds so obnoxious, but it's
because it doesn't. Yeah, because the things that are bad for you like make your stomach feel bad and make whatever. Yeah.
I'm very, very affected by what goes into my body, how I move my body. It's almost like immediate results of like, if I eat something that's bad, it will truly go through me. It will, because my body's like, no, we're actually good.
Yeah.
Case in point, that fucking seed cycling after 2 days, it ruined my life. It didn't ruin my life, but my normal consistent period. I had a 2-day period. Then my estrogen was all over the place just from doing it for like a week. So
you're very in touch with what your body wants and you listen to it.
And that's like, I think in terms of diet, I do not diet. I find it incredibly difficult. I used to do it so much in high school, so much in a very unhealthy way. And now I'm so in tune with like, I do intuitive eating. That's really what I do.
That's very smart.
Chew intentionally, swallow intentionally, grab food intentionally that I know is like, oh, I'm really craving this. I'm really craving that. It's all based on that. If you have ever struggled with disordered eating, I encourage you to read Eating in the Light of the Moon. It's something my therapist gave me when I was like, for that full year, when I was 28, like really focusing on the food stuff. I read it 3 times. Like every time I've kind of like gone back into like some
you've never told me about that book.
It's my favorite book. It has changed the way that I eat. Truly. So diet wise, like I think everybody should just listen to what their body needs. And like that's a hard thing to do. So
I don't respond well to eliminating food groups from my life. I don't believe in that. I don't
no,
do low carb. I don't
no,
do whatever.
nobody
Um,
does, by the way.
I mean, some people do. Some people live like that. They'll just eat whatever and they'll eat like 20 pieces of bacon. It's like, oh, at least I didn't have any carbs. Look,
Yeah,
I think that
keto.
one thing works for your age group, for my age group, when you start thinking about, how many years you have left and how do you want
Oh my
those years to
gosh.
be? Because
Yeah.
it's not just about living. They say, oh, you can live to 100, but what is that going to look like? What is 80 to 100 going to look like? If I'm going to be a mess of illness and diabetes and things, heart disease and all that, I don't want that.
Yeah.
So I recommend, if this has been around for a long time, but I love the book about the blue zones. And if you've never heard about it, the blue zones are 5 places in the world that have the largest amount of centenarians, people who live to 100 and past 100, but not living it in a wheelchair or sitting.
Yeah. Like really
These people
active
don't
and
retire,
healthy.
very active. They have a sense of community. They like to hang out with other people. They are a sense of purpose is very important. So there is a new show on Netflix that I was going to write a whole thing about it on my Instagram because I really like it. And I thought that I think that if you look at how these people eat and the joy that they take in cooking together and eating and just eating what's available and what's comes from the earth and stuff like that, I think that could that is what's motivated my new
Yeah.
pattern of eating because it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
It does. It makes sense. So yeah, I think that the word diet is a bad word.
It's a bad word.
It's a bad word.
Listen to your heart
And move every day.
when
It's not like
calling for you. Okay.
I think that also, also thinking that you have to be on a diet, a workout regimen and go to the gym or do whatever.
Well, that's so the workout routine, it does involve like, I hate saying this because it makes me sound like such a stoner, and I'm really not. I only take like two or three hits at night, and it is medicine for my body because it immediately connects me to my body. And I roll out a yoga mat. I put my little
Oh, you
two-way.
do it like that?
Yes, I work out high because it connects me to my body, and
But what do you
immediately
use? Sativa or do you use
it's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid. Okay.
And I put on my 2-pound ankle weights. I have my 8-pound dumbbells, and I have a heavy what's it called? Elastic band. And I'm not like, okay, I'm gonna do butt and arms today. I'm gonna do abs, whatever. I truly just close my eyes and I listen to what my body needs. It's called flowing, is really what it is.
Yeah,
In yoga, you flow and you listen and you're like, oh, my back. And when I do it, the way that I am like validating that everything I'm doing is right is every movement that I do. I'm like, oh, I want to like do this. And I hear my back go, and then I go this way. It's like, and then I'll do some weird move. I'm like, oh, this kind of feels I am cracking every single bone in my back or on my arms or my shoulders. And I don't set a time. I don't whatever. I just feel when I'm done. I'm like, okay, I feel really good. I feel energized now. Like I am so intuitive with diet and workout. I just kind of feel what my body needs. That's
right, but you're not
all
like going
do.
to a gym or paying tons of money
not.
for class. You used to.
I used to,
and you don't do that anymore. And I think that you're in like really great shape. And
I think so too. And I never felt better. That's really the most important thing. I've never felt better.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. Okay, we have to wrap up. We're getting
okay.
Do you have a quiz or should we just end it?
I think that we did like
we did a special thing.
Questions. Yeah. So
we did a special thing, so it's over.
Torture you this
okay.
Week. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Love you
guys. Rate, subscribe, do all this
please
stuff.
write to us if you have you heard from the person.
No, I haven't. 75? That's what I was going to say.
Okay.
75th person. Listen to last week's episode. At the end of the episode, I'd call you out because you have to claim your prize.
We have a gift for you.
Products. We have a gift for you.
Yeah.
And still no 100th person yet, but you still have time, guys.
Yeah.
Review our stuff.
We really do appreciate just the feedback is really important to us. We love doing this, but we love anytime anybody calls us and tells us, I love this, or I listen to it with my mom, or this is the highlight of my Monday.
It keeps us going.
It keeps us going, and it makes it really, I don't, you know, there's a lot of effort involved, especially on your end. There's a lot of effort involved. And I
There's a
think
lot
it
of effort
means a
involved.
lot
Okay, I have to
you,
go.
so-
My child has closed the
Okay.
door on herself again. I have to
Nice.
go
Okay.
break
Love
her
you.
free. Love you.
Bye, guys. See you next week.